U.S. infrastructure, including the power grid, under cyber threat by Russian government hackers, potentially giving the Kremlin the ability to turn off the lights. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI detailing a 2-year multi-stage effort by Moscow targeting the U.S. energy grid. The hackers first gained access to small energy-related companies, planting malware that allowed them to move into larger networks. Once inside the energy suppliers, the Russians collected information on the facility's control systems, attempting to acquire the ability to turn those systems off.
They're identifying targets, they're positioning malware so they could pull the trigger when they wanted to. But they're also sending the United States a message. We are in position to cause harm if we wanted to do it. And so the U.S., should be a little more careful.
The Russians targeted other crucial sectors as well, including nuclear power, water, aviation, and manufacturing. Experts see the intrusion as a possible precursor to an unprecedented Russian cyber attack that could, in the event of war, devastate the U.S.
This project will accommodate somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 people when it's completed. It's a city. It's going to be the largest survival community on the planet. The whole world is concerned. Everybody has gut level feelings, and they're all feeling something's about to happen. So our buyers are people that are aware. They're not paranoid, they're aware.
Meet Satan, as NATO's come to call this, the R-36M, 209 tons of nuclear Armageddon. It is a paradox. If these things ever launched in anger, it'll likely mean the end of human civilization. And yet, it is that very fact that guarantees that no sane man will ever press the red button.
We're traveling inside eastern Syria on an exclusive trip with U.S. Special Forces. General Jonathan Braga tells us this rural terrain was ISIS's heartland and that the extremists have been driven way back. But now there are fears the U.S. could end up in a direct conflict with new adversaries, Russians. We drove to the Conoco oil and gas refinery, now a U.S. base. It's the first time reporters have been here since American troops came under attack on this spot last month by 500 fighters, including Russian mercenaries, an international incident shrouded in secrecy until now.
So on that night, we started receiving artillery rounds in around right where you're standing, upwards of 30 different artillery rounds.
General Braga says he immediately picked up a hotline to the Russian military.
So you called and said, stop this?
Yes, I did.
What response did you get?
Those are not our forces.
U.S. forces were unconvinced. Braga says they gathered in this building to launch a counterstrike, raining down artillery and airstrikes.
200 to 300 of the Russian force was killed. Is that accurate?
And that's, I would say, close to our estimates as well.
Were you worried that this could have become some sort of real war with Russia?
Well, absolutely concerned.
U.S. military officials tell NBC News the Russian mercenaries were from the Wagner Group, a shadowy security firm linked to Yevgeny Prigozhin, a powerful oligarch known as Putin's chef. The U.S. captured intercepts of the mercenaries' communications, complaining about their heavy losses. They tore us to pieces, put us through hell, said one. The Yankees made their point, and it seems the mercenaries haven't given up. General Braga took us to the edge of the base, pointing out to where similar forces have come back.
Hope it doesn't happen again, but if it does, we'll be ready.
Has been an alarming spike in government hostility toward religion over the past 8 years. Fox News radio correspondent Todd Starnes, the author of The Deplorables Guide to Making America Great Again, is here with us today. He also has a brand new nationally syndicated radio show starting next Wednesday. I was reading about that. Congratulations, Todd.
Thanks, Laura. Appreciate that. We're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about this report. What more does it tell us?
Well, since 2014, there's been a 76% increase in the number of hostility cases involving religious liberty. And this information coming from the Family Research Council and their report, Laura, and according to their documentation, most of these instances occurred during the Obama administration and predominantly were impacting people of the Christian faith.
You know, I know that you follow this group closely. How does the Family Research Council gather their facts and get this all together for us?
Well, quite frankly, they use the news media, and they use a lot of reporting from various sources, and they document all of these instances in the 66-page report. This is no surprise.
The opposite.
There's no talking to the Taliban. We don't want to talk to the Taliban. We're going to finish what we have to finish. What nobody else has been able to finish, we're going to be able to do it.
The explanation now, he was simply upset.
I think what President Trump was expressing was a reaction to the terrorist activities of the horrible terrorist activities last month in Kabul. Significant elements of the Taliban are not prepared to negotiate, and it may take a long time before they are